It's great to be here with you, and it's a divine calling, really, because I knew I'd missed our teaching, and I've come here several times along the way, but it had been a while, and something just triggered everything, and I'm going, just feels right to be here, so it's so nice to be here with all of you. Dr. Holmes said, "A power greater than you are, and I am, has put us here. So everyone has a place to fill in this life. No one's exempt. We all matter. And the world has great need of the consciousness of our teaching right now, more than ever. The more light you and I have, the better we can see what is trivial and outmoded in our lives. Sometimes we don't face it until it bonks us on the head, and that can happen. So I choose love in a way that helps us grow, that transforms us when we love from our hearts. So our topic today is love on a spectrum. And our tests and challenges come up not to punish us, even though we often react that way, but they reveal in bold letters what we need to shift in our thinking or in our attitudes or in our relationships or any number of ways. So are we consistently affected by the opinions or the attitudes or mistakes that we've made or other people's opinions about it? So how about choosing to grow and engage in our higher self? I believe that the divine is directing us toward that now. With all the chaos going on in the world, I think it's calling those of us that feel like there's something for us to do, that we should participate and make a difference. And that's probably what prompted me to come back to this teaching, because it's such a powerful teaching, and it's such an authentic teaching. A wise master said, "I will radiate love to others to open the channel for God's love to come through all." And that's the intention, really. So are we on the divine operating table? Is Spirit revealing some light within you, or that you feel the motivation to share something that is a beneficial presence in the world? Because if you feel that there's something for you to do, whether it's physical, emotional, psychological, creative, there's infinite ways that you can make a difference. And I think that the Spirit is calling us all to be a beneficial presence. So affirm with me, I embrace who I am and loving the presence. I embrace who I am and loving the presence that expresses itself as me. Expresses itself as me. Right. In Science of Mind, we often say that the word God is synonymous for love. And I believe that God is love. But you're embracing that idea and knowing that you are love also. We are one with the creativity of God, that we can shift things in the way they are in the world. Yet parts of the world that are at war right now and violent and divisive makes it tough for us to believe that God is everywhere. But it is. It's just we're in a different place in our evolutionary process. This month, we're invited to lean into love. So, it's obviously, how can I lean into love? We're not sure about. But let's take a look at love in all the right places. So let's challenge ourselves to share it as often as we can. Sometimes we're hesitant, or we think that we're sharing something and we're telling somebody what to do. I used to be really good at that. I was in the entertainment industry for many years, and I was always the coordinator. So it was my job to tell people what to do, and sometimes they didn't like it very much. Now, I got better at doing it over the years. But at first, I realized, I think I have to be a little softer in the process because everybody is, nobody wants to be told how to do something. But when you're the leadership of something, that's what my job was. And I didn't quite know how to nobody told me how to do that. I just, okay, you do this and they do that and tell them what to do. I go, okay, well, love has no limitations, but it has some obstacles. And it has lots of things that come up. And I believe it's divine order that they come up because we need to learn about them. Because in truth, you and I are standing on the shoulders of giants. Now, whether or not we believe that, or we see it, or understand it, if we are part of the one mind, you guys believe that we're part of the one mind? Are we being a dynamic and vital expression of that one mind? We have to take a look at it. That's what made me come back to our teaching. I realized even though I love meditation, and I've been at Ananda for 11 years since I left my church, and off and on, I wasn't there every week, all the time, but I was there pretty consistently. But we live in a spiritual world as a truth. It's an absolute truth that everyone is spiritual and it has the potential to explore and uplift and expand divine consciousness. But not long ago, when I met Reverend Julia, she inspired me to come to a CSL, and I go, this is what I've been missing. I miss being at CSL in the teaching that I teach. I said, so what was going on for me? I don't know. It was a bunch of things. I was busy with doing things that I was doing. So it's important when we pay attention. Is Spirit calling you to something that you either put aside or never paid attention to or didn't realize that you had a spiritual gift about? It could be music, it could be any number of things, but you are being called. It's not an accident that you feel the feeling. There's a little provocation that's trying to get your attention to do something that expands who you really are. You're created by God. It's not a mistake that you're on the planet at this time. Not any of us. We all matter. So when we realize that each one of us was purposely brought to this planet, we have to realize, okay, I have different gifts than you have. And I have different shadows than you have. I know it's hard to believe that I have any shadows, but we need to face the shadows. They're not huge. They're annoyances. It may be something you said or say frequently that annoys your partner or your family. And so I feel that these are the divine appointments I'm talking about. They're not so blatant. But are we going to respond? Because God makes no mistakes. You're not a mistake. None of us are a mistake. If we're here as long as some of us are, can't believe I'm in my 70s, but I am. And I'm going, what happened to all those years? They just kind of flew by. But love exists on a spectrum. So on that spectrum, as we get older, we get a little smarter sometimes, even though we also do stupid things occasionally. But all those things that we do, they're here to help us grow. And sometimes there's growing pains. Sometimes they could be physical. They could be emotional. They could be psychological. But the Science of Mind points out that there's no reason to suffer. And this does not imply that we're going to be in this uneasiness or difficult time for a long period of time. It's a process. And if we can just see it might be a very short process that's awakening you to something that you need to pay attention to. There's no such thing as a failed relationship. There's no such thing as a failed process that you've been ignoring. It's just that you've been ignoring it, and now's the time to pay attention to it because you're called from spirit to spirit within you, and love is expressing it so that you can be healthier, more vital, more believe in yourself more, believe in why you're here. There's no accidents. So recognizing that love expresses in all forms, that we're personal in our creativity, we need to really take a look at what if love is on all spectrums, where is mine trying to go? What is love trying to express through me that might make a difference? Because you make a difference. Every one of you makes a difference. You matter on this planet. So in Science of Mind magazine, affirmation, Dr. Holmes wrote, "A power greater than you are put you here." Who's heard that before? He said it a few times. Everyone has a place on this planet. Everyone has a gift. And Spirit is calling it forth from us. And because some of us are older, I admit, I'm older than probably half of you maybe. So, but Spirit is all life. It's vitality, it's well-being. My age doesn't mean anything, really. It's how I look at it. It's how I think about it. It doesn't stop me from doing very many things, a few things. I don't do some things that I used to do when I was in the entertainment industry and wasted a lot of energy that way. But God is love, and love is God. So what is love trying to bring through you now? At this age, at this experience, with the conditions you're dealing with the opportunities that you have, with the relationships you have. I know that there are many affirmative acts that are trying to come through you that are going to bless everyone around you. But we have to recognize them. We have to realize that, why is that happening to me all the time? And it's like, and I keep ignoring it. Or I don't pay attention to it. Can I share this? Well, Lonnie shared with me that she wasn't feeling well, and she didn't recognize it at first, not blatantly, until it kind of really wreaked havoc in her life. And we don't recognize those calls sometimes. And it could be relational. It could be energetic. It could be financial. There are many ways that the universe tries to call our attention. But they absolutely wreak havoc with our comfort zone. And that's a gift. It doesn't look like a gift. We think it's not a gift, but it is a gift. And I know that there is many, many opportunities that we have it doesn't just show up once usually and we ignore it. And it shows up again and we ignore it. And then we go, well, maybe I'll go out and, go hiking or do something. And I did that and I ended up falling. And I ended up by having open heart surgery because I was walking up hills and my body wasn't happy about it at all. And I went down and I ended up with open heart surgery. I had no symptoms, none so why did that happen? Because I had a blocked artery and I didn't know. So when something happens, and it feels like I'm not going to say that word, a backwards way. You know what I was going to say. If life is presenting something to you in what feels like a very awkward way, it's because we've been ignoring it and we're not willing to face it. So there's a bigger expression that's coming through you, and I know that our fears keep us putting them aside. It's a reflex that usually happens. And so there's an inner calling, an inner power, and an inner wisdom that's emerging to bring you into ever greater alignment with the incredible person that you really are. It's a call to remind yourself that you are a wonderful soul. And there's nobody in this room that isn't that. We may not believe it. We may not accept it. So I'm going to kind of close with a couple of affirmations. The reality is, beloved Spirit, bless all these grazed souls and help them to realize that there are so many gifts that they have. Help them to embrace the challenges that are on their plates right now. Help them to open their hearts to a greater vision for a world that works for everyone. Help them to realize that they are precious in the eyes of God and in the eyes of Spirit. Help us all serve at the highest level that we are here on this planet to be. And I am so deeply grateful that I want to close with this affirmation. And I'll say the line and then you repeat it, okay? And this was inspired. Dr. Michael Beck was my first science of mind teacher. And I was with him for many years until finally I realized, oh, I think I'm supposed to be a minister. And of course, it didn't make sense to me for years before it dawned on me. I trained with Dr. Richelieu. I don't know if any of you know who Dr. Richelieu is. I was very blessed to train with Dr. Richelieu. And anyway, so here's the affirmation. The holy fire of God's desire, is expressed through me. I am here to raise the bar for love on this planet. A high awareness of abundance is active in me. The realm of ever-expanding good is my workplace and playground. My body is whole. My spirit is free. Gratefully, I let it be so. And so it is. Amen. Nothing less will create a world that works for everyone. And so it is. Amen.